When I think of Polaris, I think of that crazy science teacher that some of us had in middle school that used to like to blow stuff up and just do crazy stuff. I also like to think that she trains her orb manipulation while in class and throwing the orbs at other kids' heads who won't stop talking. It is those exact skills that she's honed in this classroom that we're going to need to be able to defeat Cinder, the once Krelin who swam too deep. Cinder was transformed by unknown energies into a fusion of lava and deadly bile. It spends its eternal night roving the break, seeking new sources of power to absorb into its fiery grasp. So we're going to need the master manipulation of magnetism to come in and manipulate her environment, to take out lots of baddies, to spread all over the battle mat, to make all rock so we can finally defeat Cinder. How are we going to do this, you might ask? Well, the good news is I have a plan. All right, here we go. We're on day 1. If you want to read the encounter, I'm going to try to streamline this a little bit. You can read it right up here. Otherwise, we're going to go right into the choices. Choice 1, go up, down, and smoke. Treat this card as loot. Smoked Gear Lock. All Gear Locks have the skill Smoke Screen, usable in a non-tyrant battle only, and it's only for a single battle. You also get loot with this choice. Second choice, you get an extra training point. Smoking Cessation. Improves health status and enhances quality of life. Smoking cessation reduces the risk of premature death and can add as much as a decade to life expectancy. We're going to go ahead and go with choice number 2 here. I need the extra skill point. I have an ambitious plan with only 9 days here. We got to get going. All right, first to kind of start out our adventure here, we're going to do the initial upgrades. We are playing on hero difficulty, so we're adding 1 health, and we're also going to try to train attack. My attack training attempt is successful. On my mat, I'm already starting here with Iron Orb and also Seeking Stone sitting at 0. All right, so now for the 2 training points. Taking a look at my happy path, the priority is the Orb Sage. I have to get Nickel Orb and Cobalt Orb out so I can start getting orbs on the field and start manipulating them as fast as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and train Nickel Orb and Cobalt Orb. All right, day 2. Let's go ahead and look at the choices that we have here. First choice, we get extra loot. It's BQ baddie points. When creating the BQ, all baddies are added to the BQ face up. When placing baddies and gear locks on the battle map, the party may place them on any position of their choice. Extra loot there. And then our second choice, push and shove your way through the crowd. It's BQ baddie points. Once on each of their turns, gear locks may spend 1 dex to deal 1 true damage to an adjacent baddie. I have no idea how I'm going to fare early on, but I am going to get greedy here. I'd get the training points either way, but in this case, I'm going to go with the extra loot and not get that beneficial modifier. All right, here's our setup for the first encounter. BQ is 2. I can place the baddies anywhere on the battle map that I want. In this instance, I'm going to make the Orc Peon take a while to get to me so I can deal with the Troglodyte Seer. So we have Troglodyte Seer with Eruption, health of 2, and then Orc Peon, health of 3 with Rage 1. So I have to worry about my position turning to lava here with Eruption. Rage 1, hopefully I don't really have to deal with too much. So I'm first up. So I start with a good amount of dex here. I'm going to go ahead and roll a couple attack and a couple of skill die and just see if we can get these orbs moving around a little bit. All right, my result, I hit for 2. Troglodytes out. I do roll a bones on Iron Orb. I'm going to go ahead and put that back. So I'm lucky here. I got heavy orbs. In the battle versus Cinder, I'm going to have to try to manipulate baddies around the map, and this particular die will stay locked the entire time. It does stop me from locking some other die. However, it allows me to move baddies around that I've touched with orbs. That may be the thing that helps me actually defeat Cinder, so I'm going to go ahead and take that result now. Since I use that, I am going to go ahead and put a orb out, and I'll put it in this position right in front of Polaris. All right, Orc Peon is going to move twice. No defense to roll. All done. Round 2, my turn. I'm going to try to get some more orbs out here and roll Iron Orb. I'm also going to roll 2 defense, and I'm going to use 1 dex to move into the position of the orb. I'm going to try to set up some orb manipulation later on. All right, 1 bones, 1 defense, and I'll go ahead and put recycle in the active. We'll see if we can get a chance to do that. Now I have to think about orb placement, and I'm going to go ahead and drop another right here. Orc Peon's going to go. moves a couple spaces, and we'll roll 1 for attack. Hits me for 1. That takes care of my defense. Round 3. Polaris is up. So I need some more bones to get to pull off minor recall at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and just swing at him to attack. Another Cobalt, orb, and a defense for my 4 decks. And I'm actually already going to drop a die out of the lock position to put in what I think might be better. At least for now. As I get further on in the adventure, I may make a different decision. But I'm going to go ahead and lock orb support. At the start of my turn, I can gain +1 dex and 1 attack that turn for each orb position I'm adjacent to, and it lasts the entire adventure. That is actually going to be pretty clutch. So I do get a defense, but I do knock out Orc Peon. Game over. All right, for the rewards, I do get loot. Loot is Bat Legs, 2 uses, heal myself for 2 HP, usable in battle only, once per battle. Oh, I have to remember, once per battle. All right, I have 2 training points here, and checking in on the happy path, its health goes to 5, and then I'm going to add a dex. All right, we have a 40 Caves encounter, solo number 1. We only have 1 option here. Our reward is 2 training points and loot. So the BQ, 1 1-point baddie. This baddie's HP stat is equal to the current day. Baddies with more than 2 HP cannot lose HP. At the end of any turn in which a baddie with more than 2 HP would have lost HP from attack or skill dice, remove half of that baddie's HP, rounded down, and place it on the closest available position. Draw a 1-point baddie from the active stacks and place it on top of this HP stack. Give it the lowest available lane marker, if possible, and place the associated any die at the bottom of the any meter. Baddies without lane markers take their turn at the end of the round in the order of the Gearlock's choice. All right, so we're starting with the Cave Spider here, Pollute 2. If I'm not standing on lava, I'm going to go ahead and get poisoned, so I have to keep that in mind. We've got these modifiers where I actually don't do damage, and if I would do damage, it's going to lose half of its life. Its life is 3, so it's going to lose 1, and we're going to bring in another 1-point baddie into the game here. All right, I'm top of the meter here, and I will go first. All right, I'm rolling 2 attack here, 1 defense, and I'm going to try to get some orbs on the field. See what we can do. All right, luckily I do hit on 1. And bones on everything else, and I am going to use the bones to place an orb here, and I will place an orb right here. I do have 3 bones to work with, and so Cave Spider would have lost 1 health. It technically doesn't lose health from that attack die, but it loses half of its health, rounded down, which it happens to be 1 anyways. That gets placed in the nearest position, and a 1-point baddie placed right next to him, and we get Lava Bat with Flame Soak. That may be sort of helpful. No lava position, so that's not going to come into effect, and it goes in the bottom of the any meter. The Cave Spider will go. Does hit me for 1. I have no defense, plus I get a poison 2 die. Ouch. Does hit me for 1. I have no defense, plus I get a poison 2 die. Ouch. All right, Lava Bat will go. Going to swing 1 at me. Oh, hits me for 2. That is not good. All right, I better think about some defense here. However, I do have a lock die that's giving me 1 extra dex and extra attack. So that is really helpful. I'm certainly going to roll my 2 defense. But first, I have to tick down to 1 on poison. I will immediately use my 1 use of Bat Legs to get back 2. I'm not going to do anything fancy here. I'm just going to go after the Cave Spider. I get my 1 free attack, and I'm going to roll my 2 attack and my 2 defense. I do to get 2 bones, 1 defense, and I am able to now damage the Cave Spider because it has 2 health or less, and it is done. I'm going to spend 1 bones for Gather Stones before I end my turn to increase Seeking Stones by 1. All right, Lava Bat's going to go. Hits for 1, knocks defense off. Round 3. Start off by ticking down. And then I'm going to use a dex to go here. And then I'm going to use minor recall backup plan to recall my orb that's sitting here. It has to take its shortest path. If there's 2 paths, I get to choose. So instead of going here, 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 it's going to go here and here. So as it goes through Lava Bat, it does 2 damage, and Lava Bat's done. And I get the first action with the orb, so that feels pretty good. I think there's some pretty cool potential to be had playing with these orbs moving forward. All right, so I get 1 loot to start off with. The loot is Fantabulous Contraption. Single use, unexhaust all of my skill dice. Really, really heavy. This is the only loot I may have in my loot area. I'll take it. I think that's pretty huge with the upgrades that I'm about to make. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of bat legs. I did get 1 use out of it, so that's cool. Then I have 2 skill points. And now that I have Orb Sage built up, I've got some of my deficiencies built up in my core stats. I'm going to move on to Movement Coach. I'm going to use both training points for Movement Coach, Polarity Switch, and Magnetizer. I'm excited about this because this gives me some freedom of movement. I already saw in the first battle where an orb right next to me and 2 baddies in front of me aren't going to do me any good. I can't recall that orb. I have to reposition myself. So Polarity Switch will help that. It has repolarization. I can move myself up to the number on the die result positions. I can pass through occupied positions. That alone would have actually allowed me to recall my orb through 2 units last time had I had that result. With the Magnetizer, there is personal magnetism that allows me to either move myself or other orbs next to each other. So once again, just kind of freedom of movement, so I can hopefully set up those really big recalls that take out multiple baddies, especially now that I'm going into day 4 where my BQ is going to be 4 1 points. I know in solo I typically have some issues as I have the more baddies I have on the field with crowd control. All right, for day 4 we have Tic Tac Foe. This is 40 Caves solo number 12. Our first option is play the game. It gives us an extra training point on top of the one already being rewarded with this encounter. It's BQ baddie points. At the start of any turn, the Gearlock may add a 1-point baddie to the bottom of the BQ. When a baddie is defeated, replace the rock lava chip in its position with the baddie chip face down. Treat this as a rock that cannot become lava. Encounter success is achieved if there are at least 3 face down baddies in an orthogonal or diagonal line when all baddies are defeated. Okay, well, that's interesting. And then the second one is flip the table. It's BQ baddie points. The Gearlock may target rock chips. If they deal 2 or more damage to a rock chip, it becomes lava. Encounter success is achieved if all baddies are defeated or there are 4 lava positions in an orthogonal or diagonal line. I think that's the easier of the 2, but I like training points more than loot, especially since I have Fantabulous Contraption and I really can't take loot. I may or may not use it this time, but we'll see. I do have some maneuverability now, so getting these rock chips or baddie chips in a line might not be incredibly hard. All right, so I'm going to take number 1. I want the training. And I think it's kind of fun. Like, let's see if we can use our maneuverability to get around this map. All right, so we have some difficulties here. To start off, we have 2 vile mushrooms. Both of them have Pollute 1, which I'm going to be getting poisoned almost immediately unless I am on lava. They also have Decoy 1, where they're going to drop 1-point decoys, essentially, that I have to attack. So when I defeat these 2, I actually have to place 1 point. I have to place decoys essentially that I have to attack because I won't be able to do damage anywhere else. So that's going to have to be a little bit tricky. Hopefully I can knock them both out with an orb recall. My plan here, then we also have Clay Golem with Break. We all love Break. Any attack die I throw at him are going to be gone. Then I also have Dork, which will be taking away those attack die as it does damage to me. It has rating as well, which won't really matter. So my plan is to try to be a little bit tricky here. I think this is where Polaris gets hard, but fun if we can pull this off. So we're going to try to step up, start to lay down some orbs, and then maneuver to the other side of the map, recall those orbs, hopefully with the major recall, and do most of the damage that way. So if I'm losing attack die with break or with sword breaker, which I most certainly will, hopefully I can mitigate that with my orb recall. I think the other thing to keep in mind is if I have orbs on the field, with my lock die, I get extra dex, I get extra attack die that won't be affected by break, or it won't affect my attack stat. And even if sword breaker from the dork comes and knocks out all of my attack, I still have that ability. I can also unexhaust everything I have as well, and I can also use Seeking Stone to unexhaust Iron Orb to get more orbs out. Those orbs are going to be super important right now, so let's hope the dice go in my favor. This is going to be a tough one. So I'm going to go first. I'm going to use 1 dex to step up here. 3 decks left. I need orbs on the field, and I really want to get 2 out. I'm also going to roll a defense because I have to try to survive this thing. All right, I did hit on a defense here. I did get a bones, which I will actually use to be able to place an orb. All right, unfortunately, I rolled the lock result here, and it allows me to basically move some orbs around to occupied positions. I don't love that right here. I really need to place this thing, but I don't want to unlock this die. That's going to help me survive when my attack dice are potentially being taken away. So I'm just going to have to take the L there, put it back, and hope I get it for next turn. But I do get to place an orb. I think the most important orb that I'm going to place is going to be right here. My goal is to get to the other side of the map somehow and possibly recall that along this line. So we'll see what happens. Scratch that. I'm actually going to tick down Seeking Stones once. I can decrease by 1 during my resolve my roll to re-roll any unused orb sage die rolled this turn, which is this one. So I'm going to gamble. Let's see what happens. Okay, new result here. This is bad again. It's another locked result here. And now I'm seeing the downfall of these die. You only have 1 locked position, unfortunately, and you have to be very wise on how to use it. In this case, in some other battles, I may swap these out here just to be able to get the orb down. But in this case, I just can't give this die up. So it goes back. I take the L. Swordbreaker's gonna go. I hope he doesn't do more than 1 damage because I don't want to lose an attack die right now. Oh! He takes this out. He also gets rid of 1 here, and that triggers Swordbreaker. So my attack die go down to 1. That sucks. It also sucks he hit for 2. Unfortunately, Vile Mushroom is going to put a poison counter on me and roll defense. And it gets a defense. All right, Clay Golem. This could get nasty. All these guys rolling against me. Oh, no. Oh, that's really bad. That could be it. That could easily be it. All right, I think the good news is here, which I didn't realize before, is this Pollute 1 is not going to put another poison die on me. It's going to set it to 1, and it's set at 1 already, so that is totally fine. It's going to go ahead and roll its defense. It does hit defense for 1. All right, I think I have a critical round here in round 2. I only have 1 orb out. All right, I really need to survive, so I have to roll my 2D defense here. I'm not going to use any dex to move. I will use my 1 free attack die based on this lock slot to attack Clay Golem. It won't break my attack, my 1 remaining attack die. And then I'm going to roll Polarity Switch because I really want to get to this position to recall an orb this next turn. Let's see what happens. Oh, I actually have 1 more I can go with. I don't want to use my last attack die and break it. I'll use Nickel Orb to try to get another orb down. All right, so my free attack die that comes from my lock die does hit and will not break my attack stat. I do get a bone, so I do have a recall. Do get defense 2. That is spectacular. And then I get a couple of results here. So I can exhaust this die result here to be able to move any unit that's on a orb position by 1. That could become helpful to get the win condition. And I can move myself 2 positions here, which I will, and I can pass through other units. Oh, I forgot. This ticked me down to 1. Ooh. I desperately need healing. Before I made that movement, I'm going to go ahead and place another orb on my position, and then I'll make them move for Polarity Switch. Unfortunately, I really needed a bones to heal to even survive. We'll see what happens. I don't think I have a lot going here. All right, let's play this out here. Dork is going to roll. I need bones. I need bones. It hits my defense, knocks it off. It does not do any damage, so I don't lose my attack. All right, no roll here. So it's going to go ahead and poison me instead because of Pollute 1. Clay Golem's going to go. He does roll bones. And Vile Mushroom's also going to go. No rolling, no increasing that die. Round 3, I'm up. That poison ticks, and I am knocked out. That is unfortunate. I think I got sort of unlucky here having the 2 pollute, which I knew I couldn't deal with both of them immediately. So that's that. Turns out that discarding bat legs may have not been the best idea, because I had 2 orbs that recalled along with an attack could have knocked out 3 baddies and all of the poison or the pollute baddies. Sometimes those little decisions where this fantabulous contraption really felt like a big win actually might have been a loss for me. All right, moving on to day 5. We're going to do it again. Our BQ is 1 5-point baddie. All right, we have rating, which won't take into effect unless I bring another orc in. I always have the option of adding 1-point baddies to the bottom of the BQ, which eventually I will have to do because I need 3 defeated in a row, essentially. So the secondary is Callus. With Callus, you can only lose HP with attack die. I think starting over here on the other side of the map, getting myself set up with orbs around me, giving myself extra attack die, and also possibly set up for a big turn, knocking out a couple 1-point baddies in a row. That may be helpful. So I'm going to go ahead and go, and I'm going to start off by rolling 2 defense and my 2 orb sage die to get some orbs out on the field. And I have a couple of bones set up for that either mag therapy or at least a minor recall now. You're going to go over 2. We'll roll defense die. It does get defense. And we'll move on to round 2. I forgot to set. I set 2 of my orbs, so I'm going to go ahead and put orbs here and here. I'm actually going to put that orb on my position so I can move up. Yeah, so I'm going to place my orbs on my position and this position, and that's going to be apparent why soon. So I'm going to spend a dex to move up. I'm next to 1 orb here, and also on an orb, the way it reads is I'm only going to get 1 attack die extra here, but I'm going to spend my +1 attack and +1 dex. I have 3 dex left after my movement, and I'm going to go ahead and swing with 2 more and a defense. Wow, lots of bones. Okay. Question is, do I upgrade to innate +1? Basically allowing me to only recall certain orbs instead of all of them. So I'll upgrade to innate +1, and unfortunately I have no defense, and I only knock off his defensive die. So that's not good. He's gonna go, he's gonna roll 2 attack at me. I have no defense, and he's gonna roll a defense. Oof. So he gets his defense back, he hits me for 2, and went around 3. I can't do any fancy things with this guy. I can't use movement and orbs and recalling and all of that fun stuff because he only takes damage from attack die. So I'm next to 1. So I get 1 free attack plus 2 more plus a defense. I also have Polarity Switch and Magnetizer. Honestly, doesn't make much sense at all right now to use anything else. So it's 2 defense, 3 attack. One of them's coming from my lock die. Okay, that result was much needed. Hit for 5, so that gets knocked off. He has 2 left. He's gonna go. Whew, I'm barely hanging on here. So he does roll bones for his defense, which is good. Hits me for 3. Knocks this out, and 1 health. So I am down to 2. I am going to go ahead and add a 1-point baddie to the BQ at this point. So I'll set up again here. I got to roll my 2 defense and 3 attack. Once again, 2 for my stat and 1 for being adjacent to an orb. Alright, so I easily take him out. I do get a bones for my minor recall and defense. His position becomes permanent rock. And so now that's the basis for the 3 in a row that I need. So then the 1-point baddie is going to come into play here. Bottom of the BQ. Alright, oh joy. It's a break baddie with lots of health. I'm also going to take this opportunity on my turn to add another one to the bottom of the BQ. I really need to get some positioning to the other side of the map here, because the next 1 point's going to come in here, and I'll want to start to recall orbs to my position. So I'm going to use Magnetizer. I'm next to an orb, so I get a free attack, 2 defense. All right, I'll use 2 decks to get next to him. I have 2 decks left. It's going to be defense, and I'm just going to move 1 spot over because I want to draw him in line here. Oh, the tricky part is I don't know if the number 2 spot will be melee. If it is, I want him. I could take 1 step back to draw him here and then eventually here, or I can draw him here and then start to hit him. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So I'm going to go ahead and use 1 dex to get here, another dex to get here. I want him here. So then this last baddie hopefully will come in here as range. If it's melee, I think it'll come in here. So I'm going to have to draw it down here. This is a tricky one. Like, the positioning actually matters, and having a choice as to when these 1-pointers come in is added decisions. This is an interesting encounter for sure. So I'm going to move 1, 2, wanting to draw him in here. I'm going to roll defense. I'm going to roll defense. I've already spent 2 decks. I have 2 left, and then I'm also going to get my free attack and dex from the orb in this position. So let's go. I do get a bones. That is good. I do get a defense, and I get an attack that goes nowhere. All right, so now we're moving on to Clay Golem. He's going to move over 2, and he's going to throw some dice at me. He knocks off defense. Now we are in round 4 with another 1-point baddie coming in. Let's hope it's range. Oh, perfect. All right, so it's coming in at the number 2 spot. Flame Soak. That's actually absolutely perfect here. I might not have to do anything tricky with orbs, but I might be able to. I do want to try to get some more orbs on the field, and one way I can do that is through Magnetizer. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that. I'm also going to roll, I get a 1 free attack, and then I have 2 more. I'm actually going to go for this one first, the Flame Soak Lava Bat. So I will roll my 2 attack, my 1 remaining defense, and Magnetizer. And also I have a free attack here. So hopefully I can get 3 on this Lava Bat, knock him out right now. I do. There we go. Oh, this is absolutely perfect right here. 1 defense. This Lava Bat's gone. Flips here. So Lava Bat doesn't even get a turn. And now I have the diagonal lineup here. If I can defeat Clay Golem in this spot, I think we're good to go. Tricky part is he's going to break my attack die. So I have 2 orbs here. As I recall them, I can get 1 to hit him in this space. Or I can move 2 spaces and recall them both. So we'll see what happens. He's got to go first before I get too fancy. Well, you know what? I totally forgot to resolve one of my things here. So I actually have... I hit on personal magnetism. I can place myself adjacent to any orb position, or place an orb already deployed on a position adjacent to me. So that would then allow me to move this orb here, the orb right here, to right here. And I can unexhaust Iron Orb if it's exhausted. So that's actually a great result. He's going to knock off 1 defense die. All right, round 5, we are 1 away from fatigue. I've got to get rid of him very quickly because I am down to 2 health and kind of at a sliver right here. This is a little bit tricky. So I'm adjacent. 1 free attack die, my 2 attack, my remaining defense, and we're going to roll Iron Orb again. Let's see if we can knock him out. No, I definitely do not knock him out. I forgot to roll one of my attack die. All right, so 1, 2, 3. I get another defense, which is great. And I do get another bones, which I will place. I will also place another orb here. I do hit him for 3. So now I can use my backup plan and major recall. So I'm going to use major recall. I'm going to recall this orb back to me and this orb. I'll leave this one. So this one will go 1, 2. It can go either way, but I'm picking 1, 2, and this one will come straight back to me. So that's 2 orbs that pass through Clay Golem, and I do 4 damage per orb that pass through him. So that's 8 damage. That is a huge, huge hit, but I didn't need it. So that is awesome. I survive the day. That makes this 3rd spot rock. And let's check my win condition here. It's success if it is achieved if there are at least 3 face down baddies in an orthogonal or diagonal line when all baddies are defeated. Boom. Done. We win. I got a little nervous there. I was kind of slivered here at 2 health. I feel like I might want to alter my plan. I don't know what's up next, but I think I might want to invest in some health for sure. All right, for that choice, I get 2 training points here, and let's check my happy path to solo success. Okay, so now I'm on to negative vibes and orb apothecary here for my next 2. I really need health. I'm actually going to alter here. I'm going to go with health first because I've been suffering a little bit with survivability, so I'm going to go up to 6, and I will train negative vibes. Energy is feeling good. Let's see what we can do. All right, we have Schoolhouse Rocks, 40 Cave, solo number 10. 2 options here. BQ baddie points. At the start of each round, roll the d6. If there is a unit in the any spot matching the die roll, it is hit by a stone. The Gearlock chooses to place either a weaken 1 effect die or a dazed effect die on that unit. That awards an extra training point along with the one that comes naturally. All right, option number 2, sedimentary, my dear. Troglodyte, shaky ground. As a reminder with shaky ground, anytime a baddie deals damage to a Gearlock that causes the Gearlock to lose HP, the Gearlock's position immediately becomes lava. BQ baddie points, place a bleed effect die on each baddie as they enter the battle map. Still have some training to do here. I think I'm gonna go with the training. At the start of each round, roll a d6. If there's a unit in the any spot matching the die rolls result, it's hit by a stone. All right, we have 2 here. We have a Bog Deserter with Secrete 2 and Poison 2. If attacked, I'm going to get a 2 poison die, and if it attacks me, I get a 1. And then we get a Poison 2 Bog Frog here. Pretty basic. I think we got this. I'm going to go ahead and start over here. I'm going to make this Bog Frog my first target. See if I can get some orbs down so I can knock this Bog Deserter out with some orb damage rather than attacking them and triggering Secrete. We'll start off by rolling the d6. I hit a 2, nobody is there, so that doesn't matter. I'm going to keep it up here so I can remember. And I'm going to go ahead and take my turn. All right, I have no orbs out, so I want to first off get some orbs down. I don't need to roll defense because he's not going to throw anything at me. I will roll my 2 attack and keep it there. All right, so he gets hit for 1. I do get a bones. I get to place 2 orbs because I'm going to put those inactive. All right, so I'll be able to exhaust this one here to, after an orb recall, to drop another orb, and this other one allows me to move a baddie around a little bit. I don't know that I'll be able to use that much, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. All right, here we're going to come over 2. It will not swing at me. I do get a poison 1 die. That'll eventually get ticked up to a 2 anyways. And that's exactly what's going to happen here. No defense to roll, nothing to roll at all. Bog Frog ticks up that poison to 2. And I'm on the clock here. All right, we're going to go ahead and round 2. We're going to roll. All right, we hit 1. None of their any die matched that 1 result, so we're going to put that back. Oh, you know what? My last turn I forgot to set up these orbs, so I'm going to put one here and here. I only have 1 bones right now, so I can't really do an orb recall. I am next to an orb, so I get an extra dex, which I'll spend on the extra attack. I also have 2 more attack. I'm going to go ahead for my 3rd dex, go ahead and spend negative vibes. I do have, that deals with orbs on positions here, so Bog Frog might be affected there, so hopefully I can ensure the knockout. And lastly, I'll roll defense, so targets Bog Frog. Hit for 3, we do get a defense, and we do get this. So radiation, place a poison 2 effect die on each unit on an orb position. So I do have an orb position here, but I do knock him out. So that doesn't even come into effect here. Oh, I do have to tick down poison. So he can either slide over here or here. It doesn't really matter to me. I have orbs on both positions, so I'll just have him slide over here. He's going to roll 2 at me and poison 1, which doesn't matter. I still have poison 1. Oh boy. So he hits for 3. He knocks off my defense, and I'm down to 3. My clock is really ticking here. I need some bones in a really bad way. I've got to get minor recall up and running. I also have to think about, is there a way for me to maneuver to be able to recall this one and this one to hit him if I got to this spot, which Magnetizer could help me get there. Also, Polarity Switch would as well. Maybe Polarity Switch is the more... No, I want to use Magnetizer. It will get me there either way, because I can place myself adjacent to an orb. I have an orb there. I want to get here to be able to recall. So I'm going to use Magnetizer. I'm also going to use my free attack along with my 2 attack. So that's 3 dex spent. All right, so we're in round 3. I'm going to tick down poison. I go down 2. I've got to make short work of him. I need to get to this spot so I can recall multiple orbs back to me so I can do 4 damage to him. He's still at 6. So I need to do another 2 damage on top of that. I'm going to use Magnetizer to hop him and get to the other spot next to the orb position, which he happens to be sitting on. I'm also going to roll my free attack die, naturally my 2 attack, and then 1 defense for a little survivability. That's about all I can do. I have to hope to hit for 2, and I need bones. Otherwise, I'm in a tricky position here. All right, so, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I needed. Let's go. That's exactly what I needed. Oh, yeah. Okay, so first we'll resolve this. I'm going to hit him for 3. And since I did hit him, I am getting poison 2 because of Secrete. That's resolved. Then I get bones. And then I get this little trusty dusty result. This is just a beauty. So it's electromagnetic. I can move myself and or your orbs up to a total number of positions. So 4 positions. So basically I have orb here and I have an orb here. I can actually just move the orb 1, 2, 3 spots. So 1, 2, 3 spots to then get a recall. Spend my backup plan for minor recall. Recall both of those to my position. They both go through his position. And each one hits him for 2. He has 3 left, and he's done. Let's go. So now I'm starting to feel power of Polaris. It feels really good to be able to kind of think about where you're going to place her orbs, how are you going to recall them, how are you going to set somebody up. This is definitely a more thinky gear lock, which I like. I like the nuance. These are the types of gear locks that keep me coming back for sure. And I'm really glad I also invested in the movement coach, because that gave me the flexibility to get that orb to the other side of him, to be able to bring both of them through him. So all in all, really great. The spoils, I have 2 training points here. All right, I'm going to try and roll for defense. Let's see what I can do. No on the first try. No on the second try on defense. So I will train Orb Apothecary instead, and I'm going to try to train defense again. I do hit it there. Defense goes up. All right, day 7. Burnt to a Cinder. This is the 40 Caves Cinder, 1 of 1. First degree burns is my first option. All party members take 2 true damage. That's no combat. Then there's a secondary option. Second degree burns, persistent. Party members take +1 true damage from lava. I get another training point for that. And then our third degree option, third degree burns, persistent. Party members take +2 true damage from lava. You get unlocked trove loot, which I can't carry right now. It's how lucky do I feel here. 3 training points would be huge in a solo battle. So I have to go up against Cinder. Cinder does have eruption. So if I take this third option, I could really screw myself. I think I'm going to hedge my bets and I'll go with second degree burns and I'll take the 2 training points. And I'm going to spin those on Orbital Strike. This is a fun little instant recall die, essentially. That could help with some flexibility. And then I'm going to up Dex now. And I hope I don't regret that. And we made it. It's day 8. We've got the 6 progress. We've got 2 days to defeat Cinder, essentially. Let's do it. Let's see. Let's see if Polaris can pull this out. I think Polaris is already a really thinky gear lock. This Cinder encounter is also the same. So locks versus Volcano. BQ baddie points equal to party size times 4, using as many break baddies as possible. Add Cinder to the top of the BQ. Collect all 1-point break baddies not in the BQ and place them face down on the top of the 1-point active stack. Whenever a baddie is defeated, add a 1-point baddie to the bottom of the BQ. At the start of the battle, the party chooses the number of lanes equal to party size to become lava. So I need 1 full lane that's lava. Loot cannot turn lava to rock. When a baddie or gear lock is defeated on lava, the party may remove the lava chip and slot the defeated unit chip there. These chips are permanently rock. So Cinder cannot lose HP while any position on the battle mat are lava, and then it has eruption on bones. Tyrant die has Congeal, which is transfer 1 HP from the strongest non-tyrant baddie that's on lava to Cinder. Then there's Magma Shift. Each party member, then each baddie, must move on to an adjacent lava position if possible. So we have to figure out which lane to turn all lava, how the heck we're going to get baddies to each one of these spots. If they're range, it's impossible. This is tricky. This is a very tricky battle. All right, let's see what we can do here. All right, I just got done staring at this map for like 30 minutes, trying to telegraph all of these moves. Oh, this is going to be really, really hard. The bright side is Cinder only has 2 health. I mean, how hard could he be? The downside is that I can't have any lava chips up. I have to start with an entire column other than the position I'm at in lava. I've got this Cobblodite here that has lava flow, so wherever it goes, automatically it's going to create lava. So naturally I want to start in front of that one so it doesn't spread lava absolutely everywhere. And then we have eruption on bones from Cinder, so if it attacks me and I'm lucky enough that its attacks roll bones, my position is going to go to lava. And then on top of all of that, I have to remember that I picked second degree burns on the last encounter, and that means I get +1 true damage from lava. So that means every time I'm stuck on lava, I'm going to take 2 damage. Ugh. The good news is nobody's swinging a ton of attack. I've got 3 defense. I've got lots of dex. I've got a lot of tools to solve the puzzle, and that's really what this is. It's about solving the puzzle on baddie movement and trying to manipulate the baddies to get them in the right spot, to defeat them in the right spot. We'll see. So we have Cinder here starting off in the one lane. We have Blind Bat in the 2 lane with Smokescreen and Molten Bath 2. So I can't target if they're on a lava position, which is even trickier because I have to defeat it on a lava position. So I have to take Blind Bat out with one of my orbs. Oh, and then we have a melee baddie here that I'm going to have to try to manipulate onto a lava position to defeat it here. Meanwhile, as I defeat more 1-point break type baddies are coming on. On top of all of this, break type doesn't take damage from lava. So I think there's a lot of things to consider in this battle. I'm excited to get into it. I've got 2 days to do it. Honestly, I don't know if I can. I have to play really flawlessly, I think. So Cinder's going to go first. Cinder's going to move up here. Cinder's going to swing 2 at me. I don't even have a chance to go. This could be a big hit right out of the gates. We'll see. So, okay, well, it hits me for 2. Basically, it's best roll possible because it gets the bones to turn my spot to lava, and it takes out 2. So that was actually probably the worst result that I could hope for. We also forgot to roll Cinder's Tyrant die, and he hits on transfer 1 HP from the strongest non-Tyrant baddie that's on a lava to Cinder. So right here, the only one on lava is here. That might not be that bad. So on my turn here, there's a couple different things. All right, so I'm up. It's my turn. I'm going to move 2 decks to get off of this lava spot. I want to pin this one here. I'm going to roll my 2 attack. I've got 2 decks left, and I think it really has to be defense at this point. But I really need orbs out. So maybe 1 defense, and I use iron orb. Ooh. This is my target, by the way. Okay, let's see what we got here. I do get 1 bones, no defense. I do hit for 2. It has hardy. I only do 1 damage anyways to it because of hardy, so that sucks. I do get to place an orb because I'm using this die, and that result is I can exhaust this die to move any available unit, to move any unit that is adjacent to an available orb position onto that orb position. So if I can get an orb here eventually, I can get this baddie here to clog that up. I'm gonna place my orb on this position here. I really needed to be able to defeat this one. All right, there's nothing else I can do. That's that. Purple, you're gonna go here, smoke screen, molten bath 2. Smoke screen is targetable on lava. Molten Bath 2, however, this unit heals for the number of HP at the start of its turn if its position is lava, and heals every time it moves onto lava. All right, so that won't come into effect yet. It's just going to roll 1 defense. I really need bones. Nope. Don't get that. This could be it. All right, green's going to go. Going to roll defense. Once again, I need bones. Like that. I can't even get set up. This is so frustrating. This is so hard to do with 1 gear lock. All right, and lava flow. He's gonna hit me for 1, so I'm down to 1. Not looking good here. We're moving on to round 2. So Cinder's gonna move to this spot here. It's gonna swing 2 at me and likely kill me. All right, well, that was a quick battle. That was not what you want to see. We're going to reset. We're going to see if we can do this again. I'm going to need some luck, and I'm going to have to think about this for another half hour or so staring at the map. So we'll see what we can do. All right, I stared at it another 30 minutes here. I've got a little bit of a different scenario to walk through. We do have the troglodyte with lava flow here. Once again, its position's going directly to lava. The benefit, if I can stay off lava, however, with these 2 lava bats on Flame Soak 1, they're going to do damage either to me if I'm on lava. However, if I'm not on lava, but another baddie is, like this one will always be, it will do that damage, and that's going to be 2 out of the gate. That's pretty good to be able to knock out this troglodyte. I'm also sliding all the way over here to try to possibly save some time, I don't know, before Cinder comes and starts attacking me here. So Cinder's going to go, move 2 spots. It is not going to roll. There's no attack, no target. Oh, Cinder will roll its Tyrant die, though. All right, each party member, then each baddie must move onto an adjacent lava position if possible. No effect is my call. We'll see. So I will roll my 2 orb dice. I will roll my 2 attack against there. And I'm going to roll my 2 defense for some survivability and see what I can get. All right, so I do hit for 3. I do get defense and bones. I do have this die result, which will allow me to manipulate some baddies around the mat. Exhaust to move any unit that is on an orb position by 1 position. So if I can get orb positions here, I can move it. Or here and here, I can move that there and that there to be able to get them on lava positions to defeat them. Or I just defeat this one straight up and don't worry about it. All right, it's going to roll attack at me. The troglodyte. Oh, hits for 2, knocks off my defense. All right, green's gonna go. Roll attack at me. Bones, yay! So Flame Soak actually takes this baddie's last HP and adds it to itself. Oh no, you know what? It does not. So this one gets stronger, that one gets weaker. All right, and yellow's gonna go roll attack at me. It hits me for 1. Boo. All right, and then we reset to 2. Its Flame Soak does not trigger. Oh yes, it does. Its Flame Soak does trigger. So it's not on lava, but this one is. So that's done. And now this is permanent rock, which I will certainly want to move on to. Cinder's gonna go. Cinder's gonna scoot on over and roll. Hits me for 2. Also gets magma shift. Each party member, then each baddie must move on to an adjacent lava. Okay, I don't have adjacent lava any longer, but it does hit me for 2, unfortunately. And I'm up. So now I'm in a little bit of a tricky situation here. I've got to get out of here. I have to spin a bunch of decks. I can attack him. Another fun one about to come in on this melee spot. All right, so what I want to do is move 1, 2. I have 4 more decks. I want to get out of there. And I'm going to use... Oh, I forgot to place my 2 orbs. Darn it. I keep forgetting that. All right, so 2 orbs that I'm going to place are here and here. So I'm in this position. It would be there and there. My bad. All right, so I'm moving 2 spots here to be able to target that one. I am now next to 2 orbs. So this will come into play. I get 2 extra decks for 2 free, essentially, attack die. I'm also going to roll my attack die for 2 decks. I have 2 left. I want to move away here over to here so I can start to defeat that there. So I'm going to use Magnetizer to hopefully get there. You know what? I may want to use Polar Switch to give me a for sure. I don't want to use Magnetizer yet. My target is the big lava bat right here. So either way, this is a, as I look at it, 1 defense. I can move 2 positions. So that's not going to save me from Cinder's attack, unfortunately. And I do 3 damage. Unfortunately, oh, that's not enough to save myself. I'm going to move over here with that. And I'm actually going to exhaust my iron orb die that has magnetic push to move any unit that is on an orb position by 1 position. It just so happens that Cinder's on that position, so I'm going to move him over there to save me 1 attack. I still have 1 more left if I can get orbs out. Green's going to go. It does hit for 1, knocks off defense. It has Flame Soak, so anything that's on a lava position, it's gonna take 1. They're just trading back and forth at this point. And yellow's gonna go do the same thing. Oh boy, hits me for 2. That might have been the result that it needed. All right, and now we are going to round 3. This may be it for me. This may be it for me. Can't quite get those orbs in the right spot. I don't know. All right, so Cinder's going to go. Cinder's going to move 2. Can't target me, but we'll roll a Tyrant die. I have to move to an adjacent lava position now. Then I'm going to go.
I'm adjacent to 1, so I get 1 free attack. I'll also roll all my defensive die. I'm also going to roll Magnetizer to be able to move, so I can move myself off of this lava position. Or do I move 1, waste the decks? Don't use that now. But if I use it and I hit on the right result, I can unexhaust one of my orb die. Or if I can move out of the way. This is tough. There's so many variables at this point. 1 attack, which is free because I'm next to my orb. First 3 decks are spent on that. Oh no, my orbs are here. Dang it. I don't get an extra attack die. So if I were to move over here, I would get 2 free attack die. So I have them. This is confusing looking at this one. Here and here. And then I can throw both here. this for movement, which might set up an orb recall. No units are in orb position, so negative. Vibes doesn't help me. Orbital strike might help. At least clear those last two. Yeah, I'm gonna go with orbital strike. 3, so that's 4. I get 2 free attack. 5 for some movement options here. And just to make sure I hit this one, I'm going to use one of my attacks.
All right, so I get the free 2 attack, 2 dex for those two. I'm going to roll my 3 defense. I have to survive. I'm slivered at this point. 1 more attack to hopefully do the 2 damage here. This is a fun little die, an orbital strike that I might be able to do some fun stuff with, and then some extra movement to hopefully get out of here or get to the right spot for a recall. So yeah, I'm rolling a bunch of die here at the end. This actually might have a huge impact on the game. This might determine whether I go past 1 more turn at this point. So let's see. Bones. Defense, defense, defense. Thank goodness I hit exactly what I need there. 2. So that one is knocked out. This turns to permanent rock. My next number 1 is sitting in this spot ready to come in. All right, so now I have to resolve these 2. So this one will automatically unexhaust Iron Orb so I can get more orbs out. It also allows me to move one of these orbs adjacent to me or me adjacent to them. So I can move to this spot, or this spot. If it's this spot, Cinder can't get to me, which might be good. But this guy is going to immediately be here, which is good because it has lava flow. But I really need to bring baddies over here. I've got a range about to come in here. Or do I move an orb next to me? However, I can recall 2 orbs. And it sounds like, so if I read this right, precision roll 2, recall up to 2 orbs to any baddie's position. So it looks like I can have 2 orbs on 1 position. Each orb deals damage to the baddie equal to the number of unoccupied positions it touches. So if I use that, I can recall them both here, but I may not want to recall them both because I only need to recall 1. So if I do that, I can move this one up to here. It's going to knock this one out. It's going to bring in another baddie in this number 3 position now. This actually goes to permanent. So now I have to get kills in those 3 positions.
Now I can move to this spot if I want, or this spot, or this spot. If I move here, he's coming in here, he's coming in there, and coming in there. I really need to get him down here. And I have to somehow manipulate those down there. Oh, this is such a mess. But really, it's all about survivability at this point. I can't unexhaust everything I have now to be able to jump positions again.
Whew. All right, so I'm going to move here next to this spot for that die result. And I have to spend my backup plan to heal 3 HP. I just have to. It's the only way I make it another round. Round 4, they're going to slide in, and they're going to come to the mat. All right, so we have lava flow and brimstone. We have eruption in the range. These range are killers right here. And then we're going to sit here. Okay, let's see what we can do here. All right, so Cinder's going to go 1, 2. Cinder's going to attack. 2 die. Hopefully my defense blocks it. Oh, crap. It takes everything from me. Oh, well, at least I blocked it. And each party member, then each baddie move onto an adjacent lava position if possible. We do not have adjacent lava. No adjacent lava. And that one's already on it, so that really doesn't take any effect. Now I am up. So I really need to move here to attack. Defeat that one there to lock that up. So that's 1. I don't get an extra attack die because I'm on the orb spot. We've got 5 more decks. I do want to get more orbs out for a big turn here. And nobody else is on orb spots, so Orb Apothecary and Negative Vibes I don't believe help me at all. And I can't target this one because it has smoke screen. I have to target here and try to knock it out. It doesn't help me. I really need people down there. All right, so I'm going to actually spin this loot. I'm going to unexhaust all of my skill dice because I need this movement back. All right, let's try to get some movement. Let's also try to get a little orbital strike going. I'm also going to roll my 2 attack die. 4, I get 1 more. And I'm going to throw defense as a Hail Mary. Yeah, let's do it. There's my target. Let's see what we can do here. Bones, 1 defense. Hits him for 1. Can move 2 spaces. So I did hit on orbital strike. Recall up to the number of orbs to any baddie's position. Each orb deals damage to the baddie equal to the number of unoccupied positions it moves. So I can easily knock this one out so it's not swinging 2 at me. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to recall this up here to knock this one out. It moves 2 spaces. Damage. That is done. Now I get to move myself up to 2 spaces, and I can pass through occupied positions. If I do that, Cinder's gonna be away, or I can go 1, 2, and they're both swinging at me here. This one's gonna come off this position. I really need to defeat it there. I'm actually not gonna use it. I don't need to. All right, he's gonna come up 2. Roll 1 attack die at me. Hits me for 1. All right, and it will not turn any lava. Lava flow will not activate. Going down to round 5. Cinder's gonna go. Roll 2 attack, and it's Tyrant die at me. Ugh. Oh, I kind of felt like I might have a chance. Oh, it did. Okay, so it rolled 3, knocks 1 off. I'm slivered. Once again. There's still a chance. There's still a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. Now we have to move people to adjacent lava, which no one is adjacent and not already on lava, so that doesn't matter. Now it's my turn. I need bones to heal, really, is what it comes down to. I can't target this one. I can target this one. Futile, I think. I'm next to orbs, so I get a free attack. I will roll my 3 defense, 3 more. I've got to get out of dodge if I want a chance. So I'll roll that with 2 more. Iron orb to throw another orb out in case I can get out of there and have a big turn. And I do have people. Orb Apothecary has a chance for 2 bones. I really need bones, so yeah, that's that. That's what I'm gonna do. 1 attack, that's my target. Let's see what I get. All right, plenty of defense. I hit him for 1. I can move 3 spaces. I have to think about if I want to lock that up. I probably do. I want to get rid of this and lock this up. Choose 1 orb being recalled. Any unit the orb would damage instead gains a bleed effect die. I don't get the bones I need. I can move 3 spots. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 just to draw some down into here. Purple's going to go 1 and stop, or 1, 2. Actually, it's probably going to go 1 and stop because it'll start to filter in. And it won't do anything else. It's not going to turn anything to lava. And then yellow will go. Move right next to me. Throw attack. Hits for 1. Rinse and repeat. Unfortunately, this is where I die. It's in fatigue. True damage hits me, and that's it. That's the end of the gameplay there. That's a tough one. That's a really tough thinky puzzle. Polaris has the tools. I don't think I'm good enough yet to use them. I think I need a few more plays with Polaris. This was really rough. Trying to manipulate and get the baddies on the lava chips to be able to defeat them there and plug that up, that's like nearly impossible. Overall, I think Polaris has some really fun abilities. I think I need to play her a lot, a bunch of games with her, and hopefully my next gameplay is a little more nuanced. This was just kind of the first kind of theory crafting of her abilities and how to use them. So, you know, it is what it is. So I appreciate you watching. If you have gameplays that you want to go through, let me know in the comments. It helps a lot. It'll direct kind of where I go next. I have 1 more Gale solo to film, and then it kind of starting the 2-handed stuff and playing around with builds and getting a little deeper into these gear locks. So thanks for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I'm out.